2022, and you are at the City of Opa-locka CRA meeting. Madam Clerk, the time is now 5:50. Can you call the meeting to order, please?
Yes, yes,
Roll
ma'am.
call, please.
Yes, ma'am. Board Member Bass.
Yes.
Board Member Dominguez.
Here.
Board Member Taylor. Board Member Williams. Here. Vice Chair Davis.
Here.
Chair Russell.
Here,
Attendance confirmed.
can we stand for prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Board Member Bass, would you lead us in prayer?
Almighty God, we just honor you. Father God, we just bless you. We give you honor. We give you glory. Father God, may you continue to guide us. May you continue to protect us, Father God. We give you all honor and all glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As we begin our meeting today, I would just like to say that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I know that the commission have already worn your pink for the month, but me being a breast cancer survivor and all the women and men that go through this disease, and some of them, they transition on. We just want to acknowledge the brave people that go through the treatment and the medication and the stereotype, because having breast cancer comes with the stereotype as well. So we want to acknowledge this month and all of the brave women and men that go through breast cancer, and all the family members that act as a support group to those when they're going through. And today I have in the audience my mom with me, and she's a champion for taking care of me and supporting me when I was going through with breast cancer, and my family as well, and my community also back to me. So I just wanted to have that say, breast cancer doesn't see color. It doesn't see creed. It doesn't see nationality. It affects people from every walk of life. And it can be a very scary disease, just hearing the word cancer. But we thank God that he's a healer and a deliverer to so many women and men and their families. So I take my hat off to all the women and men that have gone through and is going through this disease, young women, old women, all men and women. Okay. Madam Clerk, do we have any add-ons?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
at the moment, I did not receive any emails or phone calls or Zoom calls referencing add-ons. However, I'll allow Mr. Delane to speak if needed be.
Any add-ons?
Madam Chair, there are no add-ons at this time.
Okay. Can I have someone to give us the approval of the minutes for the last CRA meeting?
Move it.
Moved by Board Member Williams. I think I-
Second.
Second by Dave Bass. Any corrections? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Board Member Bass.
Yes.
Board Member Dominguez.
Yes.
Board Member Williams.
Yes.
Vice Chair Davis.
Yes.
Chair Russell.
Yes.
Minutes passed.
Okay, we're gonna open up the meeting for public comments. I don't have a gavel. I'm gonna knock right here. Public comments are open. Madam Clerk or Mr. IT, do we have anyone that's online that would like to speak?
paperwork, but
Madam Clerk,
Yes, Madam Chair.
do you have anyone that's online?
Okay, no, not at
No.
this time, Madam Chair.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, thank you. So public comments are closed. Mr. Delane, I think we want to ask someone to change the order of the resolutions. We would like to take number 2 now and then come back to resolution number 1. Board members, we would like to change the order of the agenda to take resolution number 2 first and then take resolution number 1. Can I get someone to move that, please?
move it.
Moved
Second.
by Board Member Bass, second by Board Member Williams. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Board Member Bass.
Yes.
Board Member Dominguez.
Yes.
Board Member Williams.
Yes.
Vice Chair Davis.
Yes.
Chair Russell.
Yes.
Passed.
Madam Attorney, please.
A resolution of the Opa-locka Community Redevelopment Agency, OCRA, approving amendments to the bylaws of the OCRA, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Can someone move it, please?
Move it.
Moved by Board Member Dominguez,
Second.
second by Board Member Williams. Any discussion? Did you have time to go over? I think I have one question. Board members, do you have any questions?
Madam Chair,
Yes,
can we have staff present the amendments that were made? Just
Yeah.
for the record, and I think that would give the board members a little direction.
okay. Mr. Delane, please.
Through the chair, in your packet, you'll see on page 31, staff has provided a memo to explain the amendments being made to the bylaws, and I'll go through them once you all have turned to page 31 in your packets.
Page 31 in the packet. Everyone's there? Board members, I can't see your hand or hear.
Yeah.
Everyone's there?
yes. Chair Russell,
Yes,
I think I'm looking at it, I'm just would like a little bit of information if somebody can share something.
Yes, I was actually through the chair. I was actually going to go through. I'll just make sure everyone was on that page so I can read along with you all.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay.
everyone's ready. Yes.
Okay, so we looked at our bylaws and we're trying to be consistent with bylaws across the county. And these are a list of a few of the items that we're looking to add. So the first item has to do with incorporating the compliance piece in regards to Miami-Dade County Code of Ethics. The second item is amending our emergency meetings item. The third is incorporating a purchasing procedures, which was not in our bylaws previously. The next incorporates the cost recoveries procedure. Following that is the expansion of the reporting of the CRA audit, which includes a timeline of deliverables. And the last is incorporating an expenditures and borrowing item to our bylaws that was also missing.
You're done.
Yes, sir.
Board Member Williams, you had a question?
No, no, that's good. Thank you. I'm good with what all the amendments.
Okay. Anyone else?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'm just elated to see that we are progressing and
Can you talk? Can you talk?
I'm just elated to see that we are progressing and updating our bylaws. And it's keeping us on a good track, and I'm looking forward to see when it's completely updated. Thank you.
No one else? I have a question. Tell me what's cost, recovery procedures.
So this is an opportunity to look at whenever expenditures are paid out, or if there's any other extenuous financial issues, the CRA is able to address them accurately.
Okay.
I have a question through the chair.
Yes, sir.
I know that our bylaws spoke to the appointment of two board members by our county commissioner. I do know that I think one board member, one of those appointments resigned. And I don't think our bylaws speak to, vacancies in that way. Have we thought about any changes relative to the citizen or resident appointment to the board? Obviously, we would want to see the board fully filled and, give opportunity for our residents to participate in some of the decision making. Have we considered anything along those lines through the chair to the director, manager, sorry?
Through the chair, yes, we have, Board Member Davis. We're actually working on getting the current position filled with the resident through Commissioner Monestein's office. We believe that position is being appointed tonight, and we will be introducing the new board member soon.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, hearing none, roll call.
Board Member Bass.
Yes.
Board Member Dominguez,
Yes.
Board Member Williams,
Yes.
Vice Chair Davis,
Yes.
Chair Russell,
Yes.
item passed.
Resolution number 2, Madam Attorney, please.
A resolution of the Opa-locka Community Redevelopment Agency, OCRA, authorizing the executive director or designee to execute professional legal services agreement with blank commencing November blank 2022 and ending September 30th, 2024, with renewal options for 2 additional 12-month periods, authorizing payments from the appropriate operating accounts, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date.
Can I get someone to move it, please?
Move it.
Moved by, Board, Vice Chair Davis.
Second.
Second by Board Member Williams. Discussion. First, staff, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So as we had discussed at the last CRA meeting, we took the direction of the board to bring back 3 options for the board to consider regarding legal services. We actually are presenting 4 tonight. Well, we are presenting 3 tonight. One of the candidates that we selected pulled out. We did invite the candidates here tonight. One of them is here to answer any questions regarding the opportunity to provide legal services to the CRA. And we are ready to move forward.
Questions from the board?
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Yes. Is the other party here that the other attorney that's to be considered?
Unfortunately, through the chair, unfortunately, he is not. He is engaged in CRA services for other CRAs, and he is unable to attend due to a CRA meeting in Lauderdale Lakes.
Okay.
But I have a
Mhm.
I have a question. So we're putting on the record that all of them were invited to be here and they know that tonight was when we have the meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That answers your question, Board Member Dominguez.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Well, you said someone was here. Are we gonna hear?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry.
Yes. Candidate Yvette Harrell Esquire is here tonight to field any questions that the board will have for her regarding her candidacy for the position.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to state for the record that Board Member Taylor has joined us at 6:05 PM. Thank you.
You had to put me on blast like that?
Just doing my job, sir. Thank you.
Your whole name and the time.
This not commission meeting, jeez. Well, y'all two things different in CRA. I'm sorry. Yes, question, through the chair.
Yes,
My only question is, we weren't, I know we're voting tonight, but I didn't see, now maybe that's me. The qualifications or was that given, like, was there some type of is there, okay, oh, well, just seeing it tonight. Okay. And so the other candidate that isn't here, am I to understand that that person is familiar with CRA and does work in other cities with CRA? From what
Yeah,
you
so
just
let
said?
me, I can provide through the chair.
yes.
I can provide some background and recommendations on each one of the candidacies as the city attorney has done with that candidate. The first candidate that was proffered by the city attorney is a candidate in West Palm Beach. So it's across a couple counties for us. So that was one concern for me as the city manager for the city of Opa-locka. The next concern was the ability to take on multiple CRAs at one time. As we can see here, he was unable to make this meeting because he is working for another CRA in Broward County. So that's also a concern. What I did, another concern was all of the CRAs are already established that he's currently working with, and ours need work from the ground up. So my concern with meeting with him was he expected certain things like the bylaws and the policies and procedures are already be in place. And we're looking for counsel to assist us with those kind of things because we're not at that point yet. We're just getting funded there. What I did like is that he does have direct CRA experience. And has done so for several years, which was a major plus. The next candidate was the next candidate was a candidate that was also recommended, who unfortunately decided to pull out and no longer wants to be considered. So I'm not sure if her information is in the packet. It should have been removed. So that was our second candidate. Our third candidate was a candidate from Green Spoon Martyr who had an exceptional amount of expertise and experience. Unfortunately, our rate is $200 an hour and his rate is $800 an hour. So although we were very, very excited about his candidacy, he's priced out, but still available for your consideration. The fourth and final candidate is coming recommended by the city manager's office. The candidate that's here tonight, which is Miss Yvette Harrell. She is a former city manager of the city of Opa-locka. She is a former city attorney for the city of Opa-locka. So she has the on-the-ground expertise and experience that we are looking for with the CRA. She understands the city. She has a history with the city. She understands our residents and she understands what's already missing in our bylaws and policies and procedures. So it was looking at all four candidates, it was a no-brainer for our office in complete unison with the panel for her to be our recommendation, and she's here tonight.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair?
Yes,
Yes, this, I looked up the attorney. And there was quite some information that gave me, I'm gonna have to use the mayor's word, gave me pause regarding her because of the fact that she was actually sued the city of Opa-locka recently. And in 2018, members of the dais actually terminated her. And the reason that they put on comments were reactionary, ineffective, inefficient. They cited her lack of experience in handling the city's operations and infrastructure. So I wouldn't feel comfortable recommending someone that is actually had such bad experience, or we've had bad experience with her as city attorney, as a city manager, hiring her, terminating her, her leaving. And I wouldn't recommend her for this. That's just my comments. I see that the other attorney has actually 22 years of experience working with the CRA. I don't know why he's not here. As you stated, he said he's in another meeting in Lauderdale Lakes, another CRA, but his application is still present. So that means that he's probably interested in the position. So I would recommend J. Michael Haygood. Don't know who he is, never met him, but I would definitely recommend him. I don't think he's ever worked for the city, so I would rather have someone that's never worked for the city, a new face, rather than someone that's been here and that we had, issues in the past with. That's my comments. Thank you.
do we have any other comments from the board?
Madam Chair, I think there's I don't know if that was a motion, for Board Member, Dominguez. Is that a motion putting on the floor?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have my mic. My motion is to move J. Michael Haygood for the.
Excuse me, is your mic on?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I guess, I'm not sure why it's so low, but yes, and my recommendation is J. Michael Haygood for the position for the CRA attorney.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now I'm confused. There was a motion for a discussion, and now am I hearing another motion within the motion? Because there was a motion for discussion.
Yeah, that's what we did. There was a motion made for discussion of this, but I want to ask the recommendation came from staff for Mrs. Harrell. Now, do we need to vote on that first, or what do we need to do?
You should deal with whatever motion was first, so the discussion.
Okay, so Commissioner Dominguez is giving her comments on the recommendation. And then all depends on what happens with this motion. We'll move to the next one. Board Member Williams. Got your question answered?
Oh, no, I do. I'm just trying to get some clarity on where we are.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Madam Chair.
Sorry.
Yes,
sorry.
Vice Chair Davis.
Just to provide a little background, around, some of the comments that was made, by Board Member, Dominguez regarding, the last time, Mrs. Harrell, worked, for the city. I was actually, a newly elected, commissioner during that time, and really didn't have an opportunity to work with her. We had high hopes, of working with her, but obviously the will of the commission, decided to go in a different, direction. I do know that, Mrs. Harrell have done a lot of things for the city and have made strides in different areas. As a matter of fact, one of the largest community events, one of the largest toy giveaways this city had was as a result of her work and commitment. As you know, when decisions are made to, in essence, go in a different direction as far as the city manager position is concerned. Obviously, we as board members may have different opinions. But at that time, I was of the opinion that Mrs. Harrell, was competent, and those were not my sentiments as a sitting board member. So just to put on the record that, while some members may have felt, differently about performance and various aspects of her work quality, that was not my sentiments, and it was also not the sentiment of others on the commission. But it did, it did carry a majority, and therefore it happened. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I had stepped out for a couple of minutes. But before I left, you guys, the board said that they were going to present, the candidates were going to present.
Yes.
Can that happen? Can we hear from Ms. Harrell and Mr. Haygood?
Mr. Haygood is not here.
He's not here,
He's
but
not here.
Ms. Harrell is.
Yeah, she's here.
So can we hear from them?
Yes. Mhm.
Through the chair, I'd like to ask that Ms. Yvette Harrell Esquire present to the podium to discuss her candidacy and field any questions that the board may have.
Good evening. I'm not sure, Madam Chairwoman.
I'm sorry.
What is it that you would like me to do first? Would you like me to address what's been said, or do you want me to field questions? How would you like me to proceed?
If you could give some background on your experience as a city manager and city attorney, I think that'd be a great floor for open discussion.
Okay, will do. 2015, well, let me first start by saying I've been practicing law for 20 years. Graduated with honors for the University of Miami, started practicing in DC, came home, worked for one of the major firms here, went on my own in 2009. At that time, the city attorney who was here asked me if I would come in to assist him. Came in to assist him in 2015. Approximately a year later, I was asked to move over to the city manager's office. I have a background, a bachelor's degree in business, a master's degree in business, and a law degree. Went over to the city manager's office as the ACM. Within less than 45 days, because of circumstances, I was made the city manager. To address what was said in perfect candor and complete transparency, you're absolutely right. At the time that I took the position, I had no idea what I was doing. But as you all know, Opa-locka is a trial by fire place. You do not really have the time to learn in a way that most probably would want to. I came in, there was an oversight board being seated. The FBI was calling down our doors. We had compliance issues. We had lawsuits. We had a CRA that could not get funded. You name it, we had it in this city. So I will say to you that the time in which I was here as a city manager, when there were threats of insolvency, there were people, including the members of the state and members of the county, who were saying that Opa-locka could not survive on its own. It would not survive on its own, and it was not able to sustain itself. Within a matter of 6 months, myself, my staff, we turned the finances around to where insolvency was no longer on the table. And that is with the oversight board. Unfortunately, you're always, this is politics, as you all know, you're always going to have a differing of opinions. I will say to you this, The reason that I stayed here as a city manager, because so that everyone knows, I have always maintained my position as a practicing attorney. And I said that often because people would say to me, why are you there? And I'm gonna be honest, I fell in love with the people. It was, to me, it became, if I don't do it, who's gonna do it? If it doesn't happen now, when? And as far as I'm concerned, if I had not been here under the circumstances, I'm not quite sure that we as a city would have fared the way we did. Are we perfect? No. Is there a lot that we can do to make things better? Absolutely. Starting with getting this CRA up and running. When I was here, there were so many discussions about funding. There were so many discussions with the county, from the county. Mr. Gay can tell you, we had conversations with respect to what the CRA was supposed to be, how the CRA would improve, and for various reasons, perhaps because that really wasn't priority, we were literally trying to survive. That was not something that we pursued at the time. So that we're clear, when I left the city, I left with an entirely different dais. So the individuals who voted me out were not those who kept me here and asked me to come back. So I don't know if you all know the story, when they were having difficulty finalizing the budget. And of course, as you know, if the budget isn't finalized, we cannot operate. When they were having difficulty finalizing the budget, I was asked again to come back to the city. My statement to the people who asked me was clear. I'll come back for the purposes of finalizing the budget. I'll come back for the purposes of making sure that we are not insolvent. I will not stay because I understood the political atmosphere at the time. However, I grew up believing much is given, to whom much is given, much is required. So I recognize that in spite of what had been said that was absolutely untrue about me, in spite of what had been done in terms of the individuals who worked with me, it was still a mission that I believed that I had. The reason that I even entertained the idea of coming back to the city is because, as Mayor Taylor used to always say, I do believe that this is the great city of Opa-locka. I understand that unfortunately, people don't see it that way. And I think that it's up to everyone on that dais and everyone who works for this great city to make it so. So with that, I'll open the floor to any questions and I'll be more than happy to respond.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to go first.
Yes.
Let me put my phone down. So
I need you to talk in the mic, please.
I think it's the mic. Maybe he needs to turn the mic up.
Please, sir. Mr. IT.
Yeah. And I'm loud, right?
No. You don't project your voice.
Ever. Are we good? Oh, see, there you go. All right. First, let me say, I was one who was on the dais when Ms. Yvette was dismissed, and I don't like the word fired because I think it's a nasty word. I would say dismissed. And the reasons that she was dismissed for was not my reasons. With that being said, I'm glad to see that you're here, basically pouring out your heart to us. And what caught my attention is that you said several times, what was it she said about the city? My city, something to that effect? Our city.
Yes, ma'am.
And that really got me, because even though the experience that you have experienced in the city of Opa-locka, in my opinion, was not all sugar and spice, but to see that you are here saying our city and willing to just run this race again in the city of Opa-locka, it does my heart well. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Mhm.
Anyone else on the board?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me? I also want to make sure you can hear me. Okay. Is
Of
that it?
course, we can
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Project my voice. Messing with Commissioner Bass. Good evening.
Good evening.
We have not formally met. As a matter of fact, we have not met at all.
We have not.
So it would have been nice had we had an introduction before I brought, have to hire or not, but hey, nonetheless, that's their fault. But, I will say that I appreciate you coming back. Really, it takes a level of humility and fortitude to say, I'm going to give back to a city that I poured my heart in. To be quite honest with you, the only part that made me a little pause had nothing to do with being fired, because that's the nature of Opa-locka. That's what we do. That's the history. We don't like you, you're gone. But the
Past tense.
past history. But I will say that, and one other thing was, I personally believe, and it is truthful, and I have expressed this, is that we don't do enough cleaning out. We don't bring in more new. We tend to hold on to the past and tend to hold on to the old. And that's what does not make us get to that next level. But I will say that when I was running and wanted to do my background, I actually went back to old meetings where you were the city attorney, and just you were like, no nonsense. You were like, we're, really just making it happen, really. And then after that, even today when your name came out, because this is recent, I'm gonna put it out. This is all like the streets have been talking, but they didn't talk to me. So it's true. So I actually went back today and said, let me resurface and go back. And I really liked how you managed and what you did. And of course, I know that's not the attorney piece, but really moving through and just being a very, very astute and aware of what was going on. Even the meetings when you were getting, for lack of a better term, beat up on. So that takes a lot. That takes a lot to deal with and stay. And so that for that right there, I'm like, yeah, definitely I like that spirit. And so I just wanted to put that out there, that I, of course, did my research, because I never want to go off of, someone's, because, okay.
I
Thank you.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, well then I'll go last. Mrs. Harrell,
Yes,
I first I want to make it clear that Mrs. Harrell is not coming back as the city's attorney. She's coming back. If she's voted upon, she's coming as the CRA's attorney. When Ms. Harrell was here as the city manager, I didn't have the privy of rating her one way or the other, because I wasn't on the dais. But I looked at all of the resumes that was here. Hers was good as well. You were not my first choice. But I must say that I appreciate the way that you have handled yourself with us as a board, and upon you leaving the city. So with that being said, if there's nothing else, anyone else? So we're voting on Ms. Harrell now, Madam Attorney.
Well, there's a motion first for Mr. Haygood.
Oh, there's a motion for Mr. Haygood. I thought it was.
Mr. Mingus.
Oh, okay, so Mrs. Harrell wasn't, she wasn't the motion. The motion was Mr. Haygood.
That's what Mr. Mingus, that's.
Okay,
you
the
would need a
motion on the floor
second.
was the one with Mr. Haygood.
Correct. That's what I suggested to
Yeah, you would. need to-
Okay,
you just
so
submitted
what
the-
we need is, there's a motion on the floor made by Board Member Dominguez for Mr. Haygood to be the attorney for the CRA. It was read into the record by the attorney. You need to read it.
Chair, Madam Chair,
Yes,
I just for clarification, I thought the motion was on the floor as far as a discussion. It was moved by Davis and second by Williams. I just want to make sure. I
It
thought
was-
that's what we had in place.
I don't remember us getting a second. I remember Board Member Dominguez proffering the name of Mr. Haygood. Okay,
Was there a second?
So
for the-
I like to,
okay.
was
I
there a
made the
second
motion.
for the
Okay.
motion for Mr. Hayden?
Board Member Dominguez, please, can you restate your motion for the record?
my motion is, I would like to recommend J. Michael Haygood as the attorney for the CRA.
Motion made by Board Member Dominguez. Do I have a second? Motion dies for lack of a second. Do I have another motion on the floor?
Can I have a motion, to I don't vote? To bring, to proffer a vote for Attorney Yvette Harrell or the CRA attorney.
Second.
It was moved by Board Member Williams. Who was it second by? Second by Board Member Bass. Any more questions for Ms. Harrell?
Is it Harold or Harrell?
However you'd like to pronounce it. It's my ex-husband's name, so
What's the
whatever.
government? Oh, okay, never mind.
Call for the vote.
Board Member Bass,
Yes.
Board Member Dominguez,
No,
Board Member Taylor,
Yes.
Board Member Williams,
Yes.
Vice Chair Davis,
Yes.
Chair Russell,
Yes.
item passed.
Thank you. I appreciate it and I look forward to working with each of you.
Thank you and welcome. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
The next item is the financial statement.
Through the chair, if you look on page 34 of the agenda packet, you will see the financial statement.
Everyone see the financial statement? You know what my question is gonna be. You know what my question is gonna be. Why is that beginning number the same as that ending number if we have had expenses through the CRA?
Through the chair, you will be providing an expenditure report that will outline the items. We are still working on that and we'll have it to you within next week.
So this, Madam Chair, so this is just basically a bank statement. When I saw financial statement, I thought we were talking about audited documents. But this is just, I guess, a current revenue and expenditure, like a current report. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to say this again, that when we come to board meetings and we ask for a financial statement, that does not mean that we want a bank statement. We want to see the expenditures so that we can have an accurate account of what dollars the CRA has, because every month the CRA is acquiring expenditures, and we should know what those expenditures are so that we will have a clear understanding as to what monies we really have in the bank. I understand that the money might not have been, the transitions might not have gone through, but I've asked that in almost all the years that I've set up here, please give us an expenditure report. I think the last meeting that we had, we got an expenditure report, but now we've gone back to just getting a bank statement. And for me, that's not sufficient.
Through the chair, I was working through our new financial procedures. That's one of the items that have been pressed for, and we will have that moving forward every meeting prior to the meeting.
Anyone else?
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
in regards to your statement, I also feel the same. We just see a bank statement. We don't see what money's going in, what's going out. I mean, we shouldn't come here just to see a bank statement, because that doesn't tell us anything. It just gives us a number. And this is not the first time that, you know, we've asked to see statements, or at least what's going out, what's coming in. So it would be nice to get a report. Thank you.
So what we're, thank you, Board Member Dominguez, what we will ask, Mr. Director, that you all will provide for us, expenditure, report as it relates to this meeting. You know, I don't know, you can get it to us within a few days so that we can see. And the reason why it is so important for us to do this is because time and time again, we are asked, how much money does the CRA have? And we're given a budget as to what we'll, you know, what our budget looks like. But it means nothing if we can't see actual expenditures or know exactly what is being spent. So I know I sound like a broken record sometime, but if we would just follow that, I wouldn't have to ask this question over and over again and put us on the spot and put you on the spot, because I really don't want to do that. I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but that's a question that we ask all the time.
Madam Chair, may I make a suggestion? I know we just had an item to amend the bylaws, and I know, you know, I know the obvious, the CRA is a different entity, but in the city, there's actually a provision in the bylaws that requires monthly expenditure reports. Just in a matter of fiscal management, is recommended that you at least review you know, expenditures and, you know, what is being spent, you know, on the staff level, at least quarterly. So I would recommend, if you see that is a reoccurring issue, obviously, you know, we've received some expense reports in the past, and, you know, I'd share your sentiments that, you know, I feel like we're going backwards with bank accounts and, you know, just that kind of data. I would be more in favor of, you know, the expense report. So yeah, just to kind of think, I know we just passed the item to amend the bylaws, but for future references, there might be something that we want to include. I know that is included on the city side, and that helps sustain that oversight.
Thank you, Vice Chair Davis. Maybe it would, I know we're putting together policy and procedures. Mr. Director, so maybe that could be a part, rather than making it in our bylaws, if that could be a part of our policies and procedures going forward, please.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
let me address you and the rest of the board with regard to this particular report. Yes, you did receive a full expense report last month as we were ending our fiscal year. The reason why there is no expense report because there are no expenses for this time period to report as we're commencing a new fiscal year. Which is why the numbers in the bank statements are unchanged and unmoved. There is nothing to report, but I assure all of the members of the board, just as we reported all the expenses last month, when there are expenses, we shall bring them to you for your review.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I know the board does as well. Do we have any comments from the board members before we adjourn? No comments, hearing none. Move for adjournment.
Second.
Who was it moved by? Dominguez. It was moved by Board Member Dominguez and second by Board Member Williams. Thank you all. Have a great evening.